Hey, good morning everybody. So today I'm going to show you a quick technique, very handy and useful to turn a daytime into a nighttime, or in general to tweak the lights and the moods into an artwork, into a painting. I've seen this technique being used from many different artists in similar but different styles. Because I remember I've seen some artists using this technique ever since my Disney time, many years ago. And I can't quite remember who came up with this technique first, but for sure, the studio that has made of this technique their absolute signature is the Tonko House studio. And indeed, I'm gonna put a link in the description with a more in-depth explanation of how to use this technique properly. In this video, I'm just gonna show you how eventually apply this technique to turn a daytime illustration into a nighttime. So I hope you'll enjoy it, and let me know what you think. So I'm working on the base layer with illustration that is unified, and also I have a group with all the previous masks that that I saved from the coloring phase, like for example the roof or the trees and stuff like that. Now I created a new group, and in this new group, as you can see, I'm applying a photo filter to unify the colors in a different palette. In this case, blue, clearly, because we want to have a nighttime. We want everything to look darker and bluer, but not desaturated. So it has to be a vivid dark blue. Clearly, the blue photo filter is not going to turn everything into a blue. It's just going to shift the temperature towards a cooler palette. Now, on top of that, I'm also creating a hue and saturation layer, from which you will see the illustration starting becoming darker and darker. And only at the end, I'm applying a hue filter, and I'm playing around just a little bit, trying if a hue or the color mode in the Photoshop layer is gonna give me better results, is gonna give me a better look. You need to play around with these layers a little bit to find the right value for a nighttime mood. But the main point is we need to create a series of overlay that will turn this whole illustration into a night dark mood, as if all the lights has been missing from these scenes. Imagine to be taking a snapshot of this location at midnight, for example. This is pretty much how it will look like if there are no lights, there are no moon, there are nothing else but darkness in this place. Just because we don't want it to feel like dark death place. It's still a comic illustration. Let's not forget. We are painting at night time, but it's still in a cartoony environment, so we want it to be quite vivid. Now I created a new folder. We name it lights, and we are gonna create the same filters, but this time in a bright way. We want this to be the clearest value of when our lights is gonna be turned on. So I'm masking the lanterns on this tree, and I'm creating some other quick mask, as you can see, like around the pizza oven. Real quickly, just a lasso pass, as well as on the window, both windows. Just very quickly with a lasso. It's not really important to be extra precise, as we are going to tweak the light scene later on. So now we are going to save this mask in the channel, so we can access it later in time, whenever we need. Now, in the lights folder, I created the area of maximum brightness. So now that we erase the mask from the light folder, this bright yellow luminous value is going to pop out. As you can see, we are applying this quick idea on all the main source of light, which is the windows of the house, the inside of the pizza oven, and the lanterns. Now, at this point, we could just create the halo that this light is emitting around. And we could do this by erasing the area surrounding this light source. And as you can see, it looks pretty horrible. Very, very horrible. It doesn't look right. It doesn't look how it's supposed to be. This is not how you lit a scene. Indeed, now we are going to create a new folder. And this new folder, we are going to name it midtones. Midtones. Here we go, new folder. Just duplicating the night folder from before. And in this folder, we are going to create the transition color value in between the nighttime and our lights. So in this case, I'm imagining something brownish, orangish. It has to be brighter than the night value, clearly, but it's not supposed to be as bright as the light sources, because this is the decaying, this is going to indicate the decaying of lighting that is being emitted from our light sources, such as the lantern, for example. Now that we have created these mid-lights or mid-tones, however you want to call it, layer, we save the mask as well in our channel, so we can access it later. And we start painting those lights on the elements surrounding the light sources with some very, very light brush strokes, as you can see on the tree bark. A little bit here and there. And clearly, the closer is the element to the light source, the brighter these emitting lights is supposed to affect that element. So the further you go from the light source, the more light is supposed to be less intense and less visible, like fading towards the blue of the night. Like here, for example, I'm still painting a little bit of these lights on the trees. Just being average, don't need to be extra detailed. Just imagining how this volume will be affected from the light coming from the direction of the lantern, which in this scene is the key light, which means the principal light, the main light that is affecting the rest of the environment. Same on the chimney for the pizza oven. Clearly, this is the side that is exposed to the light more than anything else, so we want that side to be brighter, as well as pizza oven. And from here is pretty much done. It's pretty much done. As simple as it is. That's about it. The main idea is to create 3 folder containing the brightest value of our light, the brightest color our light is supposed to have. In this case, we have this orangish, yellowish bright tone of the lanterns. Another folder with the darkest value of our scene, in this case the blue dark of the night, and a third folder to act as a mid-tone to place in between our lights and our shadows or our dark values, the night in this case. And the main layer on which we are going to work is going to be the mask layer of our mid lights or mid tones folder. That's where our actual paint work is supposed to happen. And again, we just need to imagine how these volumes are geometrically affected from the light being emitted from these lanterns, so irradiating from the lanterns towards the other elements, and try to lit the face of these elements, such as the table rather than the pizza oven, rather than the other trees, being them brighter when facing the light, when facing the light source. And this is pretty much it. Very simple, very simple. From this point onward, I'm just putting in more care and more love for the details, trying to lit more carefully the elements that are facing the lights. But the principle, the idea is the same. It's very much the same. I'm not adding more or removing anything from the layers that we have previously created. And I'm just trying to make the lights more accurate to how they would react in the real world if there would be this lighting, this kind of lighting. So I've been speeding up a little bit this last part, because I guess there is nothing really interesting going on. It's just me putting more details in the lighting of the different surfaces, like the bricks, the tree, and chimney. It's basically light tuning. I'm basically just brushing on and off the mask from the mid lights or mid-tone layers, and that's pretty much it. Eventually, if you're interested in this process or into seeing me polishing and rendering an illustration, just write it down in the comments, and I'll see what I can do to meet your request. So if you enjoyed this video, please like it and don't forget to follow my channel. Thank you.